We stopped for a pit stop and now Joey's Jeep's not starting.
12.9, 12.3.
Okay. Well, good morning. We survived the night. We survived the bugs, so it's not too cold. Still chilly, but oh yeah. Oh, that smells so good. Holy shit.
That's like the way the TJ started looking, where he's like, that's the classic.
Yeah, like, ooh, I want to get one of those because it just looks. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jeep's probably closest to. I think the Jeep's the most fun doing this stuff, but then sometimes the big pot, right? So the ground's in there and the water, and then above it, I've got a like wire mesh.
After a hearty breakfast and figuring out the day's game plan, we tidied up our camp, packed a few supplies, and headed out. We had this campsite for 2 nights, and it was nice having a base camp and not having to pack away our tents. Our plan was to continue heading westbound on River Road, which will take us to the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive. From there, we will head north and east through the main areas of the park, back towards the Visitor Center, and then northward towards the north end of Old Ore Road. Old Ore Road is where we ended our last adventure at Big Bend when we came upon a stranded motorist who recovered his stuck vehicle and got him back in touch with civilization.
No worries.
This time, we are finally hoping to see the remaining sections of Old Ore Road, as this is the second most difficult and desolate road of the park and should make for a scenic and enjoyable drive.
Wow, this is amazing. Guys, I'm hitting 40 miles an hour here, and it's just like nothing in the Mojave. Oh man, this suspension was made for this. Gonna make a right at Castellon. That's where I went straight last time, remember?
Roger, so you're gonna head, I see this L here, so you're gonna go right here.
Roger that, KE7SAI.
I see ya. K5DDL.
So cool. Oh shit.
we're back on grid for a little bit at the visitor center. Kind of. It's kind of on the way back to Old Ore Road, which we plan on running today. And after that, we'll head back to our campsite, but via River Road East, and we'll end up passing by Fresno campsite that we've camped at before in the Mariscal mine. And it's gonna be a long day, but it'll be good. We'll arrive at camp hopefully past sundown when all the bugs have gone to sleep.
Cat 5 DDO, this is KE7SAI. Do you copy?
K7SAI, Cat 5 DDO. I see you're still in front of me, I think.
Yeah, you gotta turn right at Dagger Flat Road.
Yeah, I see where you turn. Saw the top of you there for a second.
Okay, we just started Old Ore Road and stuck behind this Jeep here. It's going about 10 miles an hour. I don't think they aired their tires down, and they're probably riding really rough, which is why they're going so slow. Because at this rate, it'll take us many hours longer than anticipated to get to camp.
This little overlook here along the Old Ore Road right by McKinney Spring.
Coming up on the Willow Tank campsite off of Old Ore Road.
Yeah, it cracks me up how many, at this point, we've seen many, quote, new vehicles out here going, I'm just trying it out for the first time. I'm like, man, you guys are crazy.
Try it out one of the most remote places. That's a long way to go just to test your vehicle.
Yeah, and then this isn't the place you want to learn its limits. And if it breaks, whoo. But I don't know. I respect it though that you're like, hey, I spent money on this. I might as well see what it can do.
So we stopped for a pit stop, and now Joey's Jeep's not starting. Is your battery dead, you think?
Actually, you know what? I have a multimeter, so let's find out. 12.9, 12.3. Can you go, Okay.
Dropped to 9 volts?
Yeah.
That's pretty low, huh?
That's pretty low. No problem. No problem, man.
All right. Whoa.
Where's the key?
Right here.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Perfect.
It'll go anywhere.
I have a lot of tools.
Well, we'll find out real quick. I'm about to jump it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Battery issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, just I
We
turned it
just
off
stopped
I
and-
was like, oh no, it's not starting.
Oh, no.
Yeah, worst time, but that's why I bring this.
Is it an automatic?
Yeah, it's an automatic.
Yes, it's hard to roll started.
Yeah, I got a lithium jump start, so this should make it happen. Whoa,
sorry.
you can't join our parade. Let me give it a jump, and if you don't mind sticking around in case we got to figure it out.
I'll pull over right ahead.
Awesome, appreciate it.
No worries.
All right.
Yeah. You're gonna have to nut juice to do that every time.
So that tells me, I know what it is. It tells me the alternator is not keeping up with or the whole thing's not keeping up with the fridge probably, so I will pull the fridge off the mains and put it on battery, on the other lithium battery.
All right, so Joey's battery, we were able to jump it with his lithium charger, or lithium jumper, so the NOCO. We're not sure if it's his battery or just the fact that he's running his
K7SAI, KF5 DDO.
K7SAI, or KF5 DDO, this is K7SAI.
Something's wrong here. Oh, never mind, stand by, never mind. It was saying my keys are not with me. But they have to be, because they're literally in the ignition.
That's weird.
I think it was a delayed response, but... Alright, well, do we pass this guy, or what?
I don't know, if we catch up to him, he'll probably let us go.
Yeah, I say we go for it, because I just killed a ton of time for us. Sorry, man.
No, it's alright, it's all part of it. We're coming up on the point where we ran into the stuck Subaru on our last trip out here.
Man, the more I think about it, it must be the battery. I mean, we're literally driving for hours, or the alternator's not charging the battery. But I can't believe that, because then the bridge wouldn't be running.
Right, you think you would notice something else going on, like another, I don't know. I've never had an alternator go out, but I've had batteries die.
Another funny thing is, this is right almost where, I think this is where it is, right? Where it happened? Oh, that's interesting little hiking thing.
All right, that was it. You just passed it.
That's hilarious. It looked familiar.
Actually, right there.
And what's really weird is I see, man, let's stop for a second. Hold on.
Joey's having issues with his battery, I think. His car's starting to give lots of weird codes and flashing lights. Joey's Jeep began displaying a number of different warning lights on his dash, and his taillights were beginning to flicker. It was becoming increasingly apparent that this was more than just a simple one-time jump. His Jeep was going into what's called Limp Mode, or Limp Home Mode, which is a safety feature built into a lot of modern vehicles. We were not exactly sure what we were going to do at this point, but we knew the trip was going to be cut short, as we did not want to risk further breaking down in a remote area on the trail. The sun would be setting soon, and we were fortunate enough to be nearing Pavement. So we aired up the tires on Joey's Jeep and limped it back to the Panther Junction Visitor Center. From there, we hopped in my Jeep to make the long trek all the way back to camp in order to gather the rest of our belongings. Camping another night could still have been an option at this point, but being stuck without a vehicle and not knowing exactly what was wrong with it had Joey a little bit on edge and itching to get back to civilization. And I don't blame him one bit. Neither of us would have been able to sleep well that night, and getting a decent night's sleep would definitely be beneficial to both of us. We were still many miles away from the nearest hotel, and we knew we were in for a long night. But at least once this was done, both vehicles and all of our belongings would be off the trail, and we'd be back on grid in order to make the necessary phone calls and research to get Joey's Jeep to a mechanic or to his house, which at this point was still over 400 miles away. Once back at the visitor center, we tried seeing if Joey's Jeep could make the drive, albeit slow, to Fort Stockton at least, but after only a few miles, his headlights began to dim, and he did not feel confident driving it the 100 miles in the dark to Fort Stockton. So that's where he finally decided to just leave it at the visitor center and wait for it to be towed. He packed as many valuable items as he could into my Jeep and trailer, and then we were finally on our way.
Wow, at 2:35 a.m. Thank goodness. sound of the interstate. Sounds like music.
Well, this isn't how this trip was supposed to end, but it's ending on, I think, a fairly decent note. We made it safe to the Best Western Plus back in the town of Fort Stockton. The Hampton Inn was the one we stayed at before. The Hampton Inn didn't have any vacancies, but Joey's gonna try to figure out what to do, how to get his Jeep to a repair shop tomorrow, and he's probably gonna do that virtually, and we're both gonna head back to San Antonio, just hoping to get a good night's sleep. We didn't get to camp for a second night, but that's probably a good thing because there's still a ways to drive tomorrow. So, but glad we finally got to see the rest of Old Ore Road at Big Bend National Park, and just a pleasure to be back in the park. It's beautiful like it was the last time I was there, and look forward to maybe going out again at some point and possibly checking out other parks in the area, such as Big Bend Ranch State Park and the Black Gap Wilderness area, both areas that you can camp. So, who was that?
You got breakfast.
Anyway, we'll see y'all later. Oh, will they have breakfast?
6 to 10.
Nice.
And late checkout.
Sweet. I'm going to bed. See ya.